What's up everybody? Welcome back to my YouTube channel. Thank you for tuning in. And in today's video, we're going to be talking about how to get your very first virtual wholesale deal in 30 days. Yes, your very first virtual wholesale deal. So make sure you stick around to the end of the video because once you get your very first wholesale deal, it will completely change your life. I know it will. It has changed mine. So make sure you stick around to the end of the video so you can learn how to get your first deal. Also, if you're not already subscribed to the channel, make sure you go down below, hit the red button, and subscribe to the channel. It helps me reach more people and impact more lives, so I'd really appreciate it if you go subscribe. Other than that, let's get right into the video. All right, so your first virtual wholesale deal, how are you going to get it? Well, first, let's keep this in mind. Virtual wholesaling and regular wholesaling in your own market, they are very, very similar. There's only a few things that change, and I will cover that towards the end of the video. So first off, let's cover what marketing you're going to need to do in order to get this first deal. You're going to want to be doing marketing that's going to get you in front of the most amount of people in the shortest amount of time. What marketing channel do I recommend to do that? I recommend doing cold calling marketing in order to get yourself in front of as many people as possible the quickest. Not only will cold calling marketing get you in front of the most amount of people in the shortest amount of time, but it is also very, very cost effective. So when you're working to get this first deal on a budget, cold calling is a good marketing channel that won't make you spend too much money in order to get this deal. And keep in mind, the more homeowners that you can get in front of in the shortest amount of time means the faster you are going to get this first deal. So what are you going to need in order to conduct cold calling marketing? First, you're going to need data. There's a couple places that I like to get data. The first one is Cole Realty Resource. It's unlimited data with phone numbers, so you don't have to skip trace it. The data already comes with phone numbers for $795 for the year for your market. So for one market, you get unlimited data with phone numbers for only $795. If you want to use this data source, there's a link down below in the description. The second data source that you could use that I recommend would be PropStream. PropStream lets you pull 10,000 records a month for $97. It's normally a little bit more than $97, but I'm bringing you guys a discount. So there's a link down below in the description if you want that discount on PropStream. Not only does it let you pull 10,000 records a month, but it lets you pull a bunch of different motivated seller lists. It lets you comp and evaluate properties and do so much more. So PropStream is extremely helpful for when you're getting into this business. So if you want to use PropStream, there's a link down below in the description. You can get a 7-day free trial today. Now, why do you need data? You need phone numbers of homeowners. That way you can reach out to these homeowners that are living in their property and see if they'd consider selling. So that's why you need data. The next thing you're going to need is a dialer. The reason you need a dialer is if you pull a list of thousands of homeowners, you can't just hand dial on your cell phone thousands of homeowners. It'll take you forever. So that's why you need a dialer. What is a dialer? A dialer dials multiple lines at the same time and feeds you the people that answer. That way you're able to contact thousands of homeowners in a short amount of time compared to hand dialing them. There's a link below in the description for the Zen Call Dialer. I believe they just rebranded to Ready Mode Dialer. But there's a link down below in the description for the dialer I use, and you get over a $50 discount on it if you use my link. Check it out. And now the third thing you're going to need is a script and a purchase contract and assignment contract. In order to get my script, my contracts, go to jacobblank.com/free and download that stuff. There's also a link down below in the description for that. Go download my script and my contracts. So now that you have data, dialer, and scripts and contracts, you can start marketing to homeowners. So what you would do is you just get on the dialer and start calling through all that data. When I first got into this business, I would call for about 4 to 6 hours a day. You're going to start having good conversations with homeowners, see why they're motivated to sell, see, what they're asking for their property, and see if, you can get them to consider a reasonable price, and you'll start hunting for your first deal. Now, after cold calling for a few weeks yourself and building up your talking skills, I recommend hiring cold callers if you have the budget for it. The reason why is because you can only reach so many homeowners cold calling yourself. But if you hire a couple cold callers, you will be able to reach so many more people. Also, you will be able to better spend your time on following up with the sellers that already said they were interested rather than just calling people out of the blue. So the cold callers could provide you leads that already said they wanted an offer for their property, and you could just focus on calling those things rather than calling cold and opening the call. I cold called myself for about 2 months before I hired cold callers, and shortly after I hired 2 cold callers, I got my very first deal for $30,000. So if you can afford it, it is really helpful to bring on a couple cold callers onto your team. If you want to use the same cold callers I use, go to thecallgenius.com. There's a link down below in the description for those cold callers. They come fully trained and they're really affordable, so check them out. But don't worry, you definitely can get your first deal cold calling yourself. You don't need cold callers. It might just take a little bit longer to get that first deal. So now that you have data, dialer, and cold callers, or whether you're cold calling yourself, you are ready to just go after this first deal and start hunting for it. Remember, the most important thing in order to get your first deal is consistency. If you make a ton of cold calls one week and then take a break for a week, it's never gonna happen. You need to consistently do this. Day after day, week after week, month after month, consistently put these efforts in every single day, and eventually you will get your first deal. Remember to never give up. As long as you never quit, eventually you will get this first deal. So please, just do not give up. That's what matters. It took me 8 months to get my first deal, and that's because I did bandit signs, I did driving for dollars, and it completely wasted my time. But then once I transitioned into doing cold calling, I started gaining so much more traction, and shortly after I got my first deal. But that being said, it took me 8 months to get my first deal. If I would have quit, I would not be sitting here, I would not have completely changed my life, and I would not own a multi-million-dollar business as of today if I gave up. So as long as you don't quit, please don't quit, you eventually will get that first deal, and it will change your life forever. So just keep making those calls, keep following up with homeowners, negotiating with them, and eventually you will get a contract. You will get a seller to sign a purchase contract for their property. Now, once you have that purchase contract, this is where, if you were doing this in a virtual market, these are the couple things that are different from doing deals in your own market compared to virtual. So once you have that purchase contract signed, you're gonna have to figure out how to get pictures of the property. And obviously, it's in a virtual market, so you don't live there, so you can't just drive over to the property and take pictures yourself. So there's 3 different ways to get pictures of the property in a virtual market. The first way is have the seller take pictures of the property themselves. Instruct the seller on what to take pictures of and have them text you the pictures or email them to you. The second way to get pictures is to have a realtor go out and do an interior BPO. Realtors normally charge $100 for this. All you have to do is go on Zillow or Realtor.com and look up houses that are for sale around the property you have under contract, and call those realtors that have those properties listed and see if they'd be willing to go out and do an interior BPO for you. And finally, the third option that you can do to get pictures, this one's kind of a couple different things in one. You can use the app called We Go Look to hire somebody to go out to get pictures. You could find someone on Craigslist, or you could find a family friend or somebody that lives around there, or find someone off social media that lives around the property to go out and get pictures of it. And now finally, the second thing that's a little bit different from wholesaling in your own market compared to virtual is selling the actual deal. Obviously, it's not going to be that easy to build up a buyer's list in a virtual market, so you might need help from another big wholesaler that's in that market in order to help sell your deal. So what you can do is reach out to a big wholesale company out in whatever market you have the deal in and ask them if they can help you sell the deal, and that you'll give them a small cut of the profit. And most of the time, these big wholesale companies would be happy to take a little bit of cut of the profit and help you sell the deal. And fortunately, I can actually help you sell your deal. So if you have a deal anywhere across the country and you need help selling it, Jacob Blank, I will help you sell it. All you have to do is go to jacobblank.com/dispo, and I will help you sell your deal. All you have to do is submit it on that webpage, and my team or I will contact you and help you maximize your profits and sell the deal. There's a link down below in the description for this. So if you have any deals and you need help selling them and you want to maximize your profits, make sure to submit your deal at jacobblank.com/dispo. Now there's one more thing that goes along with selling the deal, right? It's when the buyers actually have to go out to the property and view it. So this gets a little tricky, right? Because you can't attend the showing with the buyer and make sure they don't talk to the seller or say anything sketchy. So you're gonna have to put your trust in the buyer. Or you're gonna have that big wholesaler out in the market that's selling the deal send one of their team members out there to walk the buyer through. But if a team member can't go out or whatever the case may be, just you need to set the standard with the buyer. Set the standard with the buyer that they need to act like a contractor and not talk about anything shady with the seller. Super easy to do, just set the standard with them. If you're a little bit concerned, what you can do is have them sign a walkthrough agreement. It's basically a non-compete agreement that says when they walk through the property, they cannot compete with you, they can't do any transaction with the seller, and have them sign that before they walk the property. But other than that, everything is the same as wholesaling in your own market versus virtual, so I hope that all makes sense. So a quick little recap so you know the roadmap to get your first deal. All you gotta do is get data, a dialer, download my scripts and contracts at jacoblenk.com/free, and then if you can afford it, hire cold callers. Do cold calling marketing, follow up with the sellers, negotiate with them, and just do cold calling marketing, and eventually you will get that first deal. It is very likely you will get this deal in 30 days. That being said, in this video, I hope I was able to provide you with a plan to take action on in order to get that first deal. If you like this video, make sure to go down below, hit the like button, and also if you're not already subscribed to the channel, make sure you go down below, hit the red button, and subscribe to the channel. It helps me reach more people and impact more lives, so I'd really appreciate it if you go subscribe. But other than that, I'll see you guys next time. Peace.